So I'm going to be covering the draft next week. You've covered the draft before. It's a coverage marathon, 3 days, but it's a lot of action, Dad. So should we tell the people how it works?
Please do. Say you drive there, you go to the stadium, you're out of your car, you walk to the stadium, enter the building. Tell them what, starting there, what do you do?
All right, so you enter like gate F or whatever, like by the Toyota thing, and there's a guy and they say hi, but they don't really know you, and you say your name, and you're probably not on the list. They got to call in. You wait around, and you put your bag through a metal detector. They really want to make sure that you're not a terrorist, but you're not because you work there. You go in, and then you go into the media room, and there's Maddie, there's Barrows, there's Jennifer, there's Eric. Everyone's there a little nervous, because you got lots going to happen. You get there early. And what's nice about the draft is they got some good food, best food of the year. So you get there and there's already going to be snacks, but I want to say maybe like right when the first round starts or a little bit before, they're going to bring out steak, lobster. Last year they had lobster tails. So you could just come for the food if you were smart. Which was rough when they didn't have first round picks for a couple of years. It's like, hey man, anyway, food's good. But we'll all be like bantering, because we're nervous. Pick happens. Oh, that was a terrible pick. Or all jokes. Then it gets quiet because the Niners are coming up. And once they actually make a pick, it's silent for the rest of the night. Everyone's got their little writing they got to do. There'll be an interview with that player 3 minutes after he's picked. He talks on. He gets called by John Lynch and Kyle. And he goes, yeah, coach, I'm so excited to be here. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. I love it. And then he instantly gets thrown on a group call with us. And we ask him, so when did you first hear from the Niners? Oh, we talked at the combine. And, okay, so who do you pattern your game after? Well, I patterned my game after Lawrence Taylor and Patrick Willis and all the greats. Okay, what do you know about the Niners? Oh, Kyle Shanahan, hell of a coach. Nick Bosa. Then they'll do that. And then we'll go back. I'll make a video. I'll make an article. We'll try to pump out as much content as possible, knowing that the Niners could trade back into round one. You got to be on your toes. But if they don't, then at the end of the night, which it's a long one, 10 hours a pick, 32 picks. It's like 5 hours. Starts at like 4. So around 9:30, there'll be a press conference with John and Kyle. That's an interesting press conference. It's why I would never go to the NFL draft because what would you get there? What you need is this press conference afterward with John and Kyle, and you ask them so you took an offensive tackle. What does that mean about Trent Williams? Or what? I mean, whatever. But that's a big press conference.
And if they
that's
trade up,
one.
Yeah, and if they trade up, why?
Yeah.
Why were you looking for this player? All of that. So that press conference is a big deal, and then you come back to the media room and you do more. Because now you have quotes from them.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you could stay there till 2 a.m. I mean, transcribing, writing articles, streaming, whatever. You could stay there really late because the next day it doesn't really start till 4 p.m. So you wake up, maybe you'll do an early stream about who's available, what the Niners could take in round 2 or round 3. But you get there again for the food, long day, 2 rounds. This is the tough day, though. It's about 6 hours. Then you get another press conference with John and Kyle at the end. And then is a quick turnaround. Because on Saturday, round 4 starts at like 9 a.m. So I'm always in a predicament because I don't live in Santa Clara. I do the commute. So got to go home, get home at 12. You're worked up. Then you got to wake up at like 7 a.m, get back there. And by the third day, no one really is that happy to see each other. And by the second half of the third day, we're delirious. And everyone's just giggling maniacally. Like Maddie gets really silly. Branch gets really silly. We all do. It's like we're pledging a fraternity and we haven't slept in 3 days and we're like almost there, but we're not quite there yet. And then when it's all over, they make all the picks and you talk to John and Kyle one more time. It's the final interview. Then they start signing people to their practice squad. And you're not done. You got to do practice squad all on Sunday. So it's Mondo coverage. I can't complain though. It's a lot of people. Finally, the Niners are in the news. That's good. New players, transactions. PrizePicks is sponsoring the Cohn Zone this year. PrizePicks is the leader in daily fantasy and the best place to win cash while watching sports. And the best part about the app is it's really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few players' stats. I'm a Niners guy. So, when I'm doing prize picks, I'm looking, the last couple of years, I'm looking at Deebo Samuel because I know Deebo Samuel better than Deebo Samuel knows Deebo Samuel. So if it's like drops, I'm taking more. Or if it's like punches thrown towards his long snapper on the sideline during the fourth quarter of a game, the 49ers will go on to win. I'm smashing more because I know the 49ers and I'm a prize picks guy. Now, maybe they didn't have those exact plays, but they have so many plays that'll make your head spin. And you can play prize picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Best part about it is the new user offer. Prize picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. So win or lose, you'll get $50 just for playing. That sounds like a win to me. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, to claim your $50 today. Tell them Grant sent you.
Iggy, the night when it's a quick turnaround, what about staying at a hotel for the one night?
I think that's what I'm going to do this year.
I would.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's not fun coming back and going back.
It's a business expense.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I could just sleep in my cubicle. Football coaches do that.
I don't think that would be that comfortable. One thing I want to add, because I know the press room there. The press room is under the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And it has no windows.
No.
You're like sort of in an underworld.
In a bunker.
You're in a bunker. There's no sunlight or darkness at night. It has no time. It's no time and no place. I'm not complaining. It's a pretty nice room for that kind of room, but it's really not hospitable. It's pumped in air. It's a weird place.
It's not the kind of place you want to spend 3 days.
No.
All day. No. It gets on you. And even like the the PR staff, they have the same situation, a room with no windows, and they have to stay there all the time. And I think they cherish their time outside.
Yeah, they probably, I would imagine.
Yeah.
On the other hand, from your point of view, it's really thrilling to cover because you see them try to put a team together.
Yep.
You see them reveal their philosophy.
Yep.
More than words. You see them reveal their philosophy of what a team is by who they take, and you learn about new players. So it's thrilling. It's really thrilling.
Yeah, because if you ask them, like, how do you want to put your team together, they're always going to say the same stuff. Like, well, we want to be fast. We want to be physical. We want guys who really love the sport. But then you actually see how they pick and what they prioritize and what they pick first, and you actually can get a profile of who they are. And that's why it's so interesting going into this year. Like, this is year 9. We know these guys. And when there's a report that they're considering trading up, it's like, yeah, that checks out. They did that 2 years ago. Absolutely checks out. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, because we don't know where they're coming from really or what they're thinking, which is their business, it's sort of like anything goes.
Yes.
And that's kind of nice. I kind of like that.
Yeah. And I like it too, because we've asked them questions. We've all tried to figure it out, and they do their best to sort of answer the question without answering it. And then there's this huge surprise. Like, I didn't think they were going to take a wide freaking receiver in round 1 last year. That was shocking. It's kind of interesting to see what the truth is when it finally happens.
Right. It is, because they can't deny the truth. They can't talk around the truth.
And like, what I always noticed too is I try to do such an earnest effort of like doing my homework and learning the players, and then they'll draft 11 guys I've never heard of. It's like, why did I spend all that time learning those players and you didn't pick any of them? It really would have been nice, consider it even, to pick the players I knew. Maybe. So they'll pick someone. It's like round 4. I'm like, oh, but who's this guy? I need to make a video about him right now. I have to have an opinion about this guy right now. Let me look him up. Okay. And you can like hear all of us in the press room like throwing out facts. Like Branch will be like, "Well, towards ACL," and we're like, "Oh my god!"
So everybody's trying
learning
to
things in real time and sharing them. Like, oh.
If people knew how scatterbrained we are, right?
Yeah, because there's like 400 draft eligible players. We all know about 40 of them. I mean, chances are the Niners are going to pick 9 or 10 players we've never heard of, and we have to be prepared. And we've been in the situation before. We all know the websites we have to go to formulate our opinion in 45 seconds. And then it's so when they made the Ricky Pearsall pick, I'm like, never heard of him. This is strange. No, it wasn't expected to go in round 1. And I was like, obviously, I hate this pick. This is a ridiculous pick. But then it's like, you get to know the guy over the course of a year. You watch him in practice, and you're like, oh, I really formulated an opinion about you before I knew anything about you. Actually, I kind of like you. Now, I wouldn't necessarily take you in round 1, but I think he's a pretty good player.
And also, Iggy, you like him, right?
I do like him. He's like, well, in a locker room where it feels kind of icy towards me sometimes for whatever reason. I don't know why. He's always nice. Like I'll be watching them, like shoot hoops or something. He'll like pass the ball to me. Be like, you go ahead, you shoot. I'm like, thanks, Ricky. You think Debo would have thrown the ball to me? You would have tried to hit me with the ball. I'm just kidding.
Throw at your head, right?
Yeah. There's always like 2 or 3 players on the team that like get me and are aware that it's kind of a hostile situation. They're like, it's cool, Grant. Don't worry. But then they're always gone. Jimmy Ward, Talanoa Funga, it's rough. But at least I still got Ricky Pearsall and Diamador Lenore. Those are my guys.
I'm telling you, you should cultivate some offensive linemen. They're cool. Those guys are cool.
Yeah, but I criticized that offensive line so many times.
I got it. See, I didn't do that.
Cole McKivitz, no way. Jake Brendel, absolutely not. Dominic Pooney. Dominic Pooney's guy. He's going to be there for a long time.
Talk to Dominic.
And there's Trent.
Trent, I got to tell you, I've never met Trent. My feeling of Trent, he's an extremely wealthy man, Iggy. He's extremely wealthy. He's a surefire Hall of Famer. I bet he doesn't even know the name of any media person. He is so far above those interactions. I don't think he likes you or doesn't like you. I think he has no idea who you are. He may have heard your name, but he doesn't know you're that name.
I think there are players on the team whose name he doesn't know.
I mean, he's a great player, and yes. I've never met him. My feeling is he is so far above it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, he's intelligent. He's philosophical. He probably says, do I need to know these names? Will it make me a better player? And I don't know. I never met him. This is my surmise. He might say, if I learn your name, I do. If I don't, it's okay. But I'll be a great left tackle.
He skipped all of training camp last year because he was holding out. And he came back and we were talking about, like, do you think it's going to affect your play? And he was like, I mean, I don't ever do training camp anymore. Like, I haven't done training camp in years. Like, I'm just too old and I don't really need it. And he's like, but I used to like going to training camp just to sort of get to know people who weren't going to be on the team. Like, you get to know these people who are going to get cut. And they're interesting people. It's nice to meet people. It's like, okay.
Like, it's
not even
social.
Pretending. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Iggy, I think, again, if I were still covering the team, like, who would I want to get to know?
You would love Trent Williams, and Trent Williams would love you. I know that.
He would be my number one. I would really want to sit at his locker and chat with him. He would be my number one.
And he would want to sit and chat with you because he's a grown-up.
Right. He's a grown-up.
He's a grown-up.
Yeah. I would like
sometimes
to get to know-
when you got older, and you would sometimes struggle with like a 23-year-old athlete. It's like,
oh, right.
It's like, but this guy's really, really mature.
I did. The older I got, these really young people say, I didn't even know what they were talking about. It was like, oh, please. And I started doing, Iggy, the older I got, the more I wrote about the coaches. Yeah. Because they were older and I could actually understand them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The players. Yeah. What was that one wide receiver who I chased? Oh,
Crabtree.
God. I didn't know what he was talking about. And I scared the life out of it. It was in Tennessee. I chased him out into the hallway with my thing up saying, well, now say something. He was so frightened, Nicky. Crabtree, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We could be friends.
I think Crabtree essentially was a nice guy.
Yeah.
He was. I think they all go through like diva ego phases, and he did at a point. But when he was coming down, he wasn't a big deal anymore. He was cool to me at that point. I couldn't get a
Yeah,
word out of him at first, but I think it was probably social anxiety that he masked as being aloof.
I see. Other 49ers currently that I would like to spend time with, learn. I would like to learn Kittle because I think there's another Kittle.
Right.
I think there's a public Kittle who's delightful, but I think there has to be someone else because he is would so competitive. He's like Muhammad Ali. He
Yeah.
would die to play. He would die to beat you. And I respect that. He's like a boxer. There has to be another Kittle, and I would love to know him to know the both of them. Those are two. Yes,
Also Fred Warner, because I think there's another Fred Warner. Like when Fred Warner speaks at his job, he's Robert Saleh. He's a coach, which is his. He's professional. He's saying what he's supposed to say. But
yeah.
I mean, I would imagine with him, he has his own perspective on the coaching staff and the locker room. I don't know what it is, but it would be interesting to hear his unfiltered perspective, which he never shares with anyone. He does have a podcast with his wife. I would imagine he shares it with her. And what's cool about their podcast is she's like the salty one. She's the one who's like always almost saying it. And he's like, calm down, let's be civil. So
Yeah.
I did meet them briefly. So I think there's a whole other side with Fred Warner that's going to come out more and more once he retires and becomes like a major media guy or whatever he does. He's going to be very successful.
My feeling with him is he's extremely diplomatic. He went to BYU. I'm sure he went to class. I can't prove it. Publicly, extremely diplomatic. On the other hand, I think he's very independent. Independent in the way that Trent Williams is. Very independent. And he
Yes.
probably has a lot of opinions that it will be nice to know what they are.
Yeah. Now, like Diamador Lenore is a great guy. He's a lot of fun. He's always in a good mood. He wants to talk. He's 25. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's 25. And I'm like, I like a 25-year-old, but I'm 37. And sometimes it's like I just feel old. I'm like, man, we don't really have that much that we can talk about. But I respect you and I like you. Let's try. But yeah, it's a big gap. 25.
Can you imagine what it is for me?
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to have a couple players in their 30s on the team who you have a good relationship with.
Yeah. Now, I have to say, Iggy, some players that would not, and now, this is not a put down, and I would actually like you not to contribute to this. I would rather do this on my own. Some players that I would not go out of my way to get to know would be the quarterback. I think he's a very nice guy. I don't feel as a quarterback he interests me very much, not as a guy. I haven't. It's not someone I'd like to sit and talk to like I used to sit and talk to Ronnie Lott when he was a rookie, and McCaffrey. McCaffrey strikes me as prepackaged.
Mm.
I'm going to give you a comparison, like Buster Posey.
Mm.
Buster Posey had about 4 or 5 things he said after
Mhm.
games because
Yeah.
what he was letting you know is you're never going to get inside. So
Yeah.
as a result, after games, I never went to him anymore. Not
Yeah.
that he was a bad guy. He had nothing for me. I feel the same about McCaffrey. He's the Niners' Buster Posey. He may be a wonderful person, but as a media person, he would have nothing for me.
Yeah, he kind of stands there after games or whenever he does a press conference, he has this like little attitude like, let's get this over with right now. I don't want to do this. I'm being professional, but I hate this. But I'm being professional. But
Yeah.
I freaking hate this. It's like, so how'd you do out there? Oh, I always try to do my best.
I know he's Buster
Okay.
Posey.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's a bad guy.
No.
And he's entitled not to like it. In
Yeah.
fact, if he doesn't like it, it shows how professional he is that he does it.
Yeah. He might be a cool guy to like play golf with or have a drink with, but yeah, I don't know that I'd necessarily be dying to find the Christian behind the Christian behind the Christian.
No, I wouldn't. Just as I gave up on Posey, I believe I would give up on him. I would again go back to the offensive linemen if any of them can stand you, because that's where the complex individuals are.
Also, Ricky Pearsall's kind of interesting. The guy escaped death.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the guy escaped death.
He escaped death.
Iggy, do these people know that our friend escaped death 2 years ago?
They don't.
Weeks ago?
They don't.
May I say what happened?
Mm-hmm.
I used to go after my wife died every Friday night to a restaurant bar in Montclair Village, Oakland, up in the hills where I live, with a group of people for years. We were a group. And Iggy, by the way, would sometimes come and they considered him part of the group. Well, 2 weeks ago, I'm not going to mention my friend's name. A dear friend had gone to the bank in Montclair Village, the Chase Bank, right in the middle of a little beautiful village. Not the ATM. He went inside and he got money, and he lived walking distance from the bank. He lives in Montclair Village. He felt a car trailing him, and it made him nervous. And as he was walking to his house, and he was near his house on a residential street, a juvenile jumped out of the car, I'm not sure the juvenile jumped out. It's changing. Someone jumped out of the car, demanded his money. He made a mistake and told him to screw off. The person shot him 4 times, twice in one leg, once in another, once in the stomach. And they drove off in the car. Thank God the 911 came. My friend's life was saved, although he may still be in the hospital, and he's going to have to learn. His tibia was destroyed. They had to put a rod in. He's going to have to learn to walk again. This happened in what you would consider one of the safest parts of Oakland. So, look, it made me think of Ricky Pearsall and what that poor guy went through, but it makes me think of my friend and what he went through. And the group that gets together, we no longer go to Pearl because it closed. We go elsewhere. And we have been very solemn because our friend and his wife are not there, because
They're not going to be there for a while.
they're not going to be there for a while. And thankfully, there were 3 guys, and thankfully, the police caught them, all 3.
Yeah.
So it's a terrible story, and it has made me blue, among other things, in the last 2 weeks. What a thing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, the fact that Ricky Pearsall got shot in the chest and nothing happened. I mean, this guy's gonna have to learn how to walk again.
Yeah.
Ricky, yeah, we got lucky. He got really lucky. So, and I think he knows it. And it's kind of, you know who he reminds me of? The character from Pulp Fiction, Samuel L. Jackson. Like after he's had his epiphany.
Yes.
After he had the divine intervention, he's like, no, I'm out. Like this is God talked to me. I appreciate every minute, and I have a whole new perspective on things. Like it's kind of like hanging out with the Dalai Lama or someone.
I love it. I love it.
In Zen.
Iggy, Samuel L. Jackson in that movie is just great.
Just great. One of the all-time performances.
Yeah.
And I don't really think he had any featured roles before then. I think he'd been in movies, but I wonder if he was Tarantino's first choice or if he just did such a good job in the audition. I'd love to know the story.
And then
did he write that role with him in mind, or did he just take it?
And then after that, in Jackie Brown,
he was so good in Jackie.
Brown.
So good.